Hi, good evening all. Welcome to Quick Learn, a language learning platform where innovation meets language. Meet our dynamic team, Sowmith and Roshan, the mastermind behind our front end, developed using React technology, ensuring a seamless user experience. On backend, we have Sharanya and Sampada, the brains behind the operation, leveraging their expertise in Java and Python to craft a robust backend infrastructure. But that's not all. At Quick Learn, we understand the importance of data integrity and security. That's why we have implemented MySQL as our database solution, providing a reliable framework for storing and fetching data efficiently. And to ensure that your learning experience is safe and secure, we have implemented robust authentication measures, giving a peace of mind as you embark on your learning journey. With Quick Learn, language learning have never been more accessible, engaging, and secure. So, are you ready to take the first step towards mastering the new language? Let's embark on this exciting journey together.
So this is a walkthrough through the design of the UI elements. First things first, if we try to go to the home page or any other page without prior authentication, we will be redirected to the login page. This is done with the help of protected routes. So in our router, uh, when we go to the home page, for example, we first check if we are authenticated. If you're not, then we are navigated to the login page. Else, we are navigated to the child that is passed through this component. So we will now register a new user. If the registration is successful, we go to the login page. So this is what the screen will look like to the user who's logging in for the first time. We can now, okay, so when we log in, after we log in, we use the use context hook to set the user credentials and the token, which we will use throughout the application. The user details for to fetch the content based on the user and the token for JWT authentication. So we save the token in the uh, context provider and we send those through our APIs in the authorization header. So now we will add a new course. So these are the two courses because the user hasn't done any courses. It will be at 0% initially. To the right here, we have the leaderboard. So this is sorted on the basis of the points for each user. Now we will go to a screen of a user who has already done a couple of their courses. So over here we have the indicator of the progress of the user. Since the user has done 66% of their course, it is indicated over here as such. We also have a filter over here to filter through the list of all the courses offered by this platform. For our API calls, I have used the Axios library with the help of async and await, and this get config function returns the header, mainly the authorization token. And in the login component, for example, we have used use state, and yeah, and in the home page we have used um, use effect, and inside use effect we have an IFI, which will call the list of all registered users and also fetch the level of each course for that particular user.
This is Sowmith Anumula. As part of the full stack application development, have worked on the front end part. In the front end part, have developed the learning page where users can view various contents and quizzes for the different languages and the levels. Let me just dive you into that. I'm just logging with a registered user and I'm adding a course for him now. This is the learning page where user will be provided with three levels, the beginner, intermediate, and the advanced. User will be able to unlock the intermediate once he clears the beginner level. As similar, the advanced level would be unlocked whenever the user clears the intermediate level. In each level, there will be four sections: the word learning, video links, sentence creation, and the quiz. In the word learning, a user can learn the new words. The English word with respect to the respective Hindi word, along with the pronunciation can be seen here. As similar, next to we have a video links. In the video links, user will be provided with the YouTube links and the videos where he can improve and learn the efficiency. Next would be the sentence creation, where user will learn how to create the sentence in the new language. By this, like he can improve his writing skills as well. Next would be the quiz tab, where user has to clear all the questions to go to the next level. So has user failed to score, he would be asked to retry again. As user cleared the first level, the second level is unlocked. As similar to the first level, he would be provided with the word learning, the video links, the sentence creation, and the quiz. As user clears the second level, third level is unlocked. As he cleared the third level as well, he has been shown an option to explore more languages where he will be redirected to the home page. For each level, user will be awarded points. For the level 1, 5 points are awarded. For the level 2, 10 points are awarded. And for the level 3, 15 points are awarded. Let me just add one more course. As similar to Hindi, like he can see the content for the French as well here. The data would be persisted in the backend so that even if I relog in, like the level 2 would be shown on the learning page. Let me just log out and try that. So as the data is persisted, whenever I relog in, like I will be shown with the level which I have completed. This as part of the learning page. Apart from that, like I've worked on the one backend API where the points would be fetched for the leadership board. So whenever I just given this API, like for all the users, the total number of points would be shown, which can be shown on which will help on the home page. For that, have used an JPA to connect to the backend, and I'm retrieving the data and populating as part of the API. As part of the front end part, like this is the learning main page app where the different levels would be there. Under each level, there would be different sections like the word learning tab, the YouTube tabs, the quiz tab, and the sentence creation tabs. And to fetch the content, I'm interacting with the backend with an authorization token. If you see here, like to fetch the content, like we're making a different API calls to the backend to fetch the uh, questions for the quiz and the different content we're trying to fetch it from the backend, like for the YouTube links and everything, we're trying to fetch it from the backend.
As part of backend, I have used Java Spring Boot and focused on implementing various user stories like registering the user and logging like if the registered user is logging for the first time. That kind of API I have developed, and another few APIs like building API for fetching the languages, to fetch a YouTube links, to fetch the quizzes for a language for the particular language, and fetching content for the particular language based on the levels. These are the user stories I work. So coming to the each user story, like firstly, coming to this quick learn application, where once the user tries to register for the first time from the front end, that username and password will be fetched in JSON form, and once we send this request. Once we send that username and password in form of request in the body, we get a response as user registered successfully. So once the user got registered, he comes to the and if once he tries to log in with the registered username and password, uh, he will be generating an access token which will be helpful in authenticating our application. So this access token is necessary in all the other APIs, in all the other APIs. So coming to the user story of build API to fetch languages, this is the API which we are fetching. So once we hit this URI, this get URI, what happens? In the code will go to the controller, and it checks whether that URI is available, and this API, and I have languages. So it goes here, and based on this, if we have any business logic, it goes to the service layer. In the service layer, we will be fetching all the languages details. So all the languages details will be fetched in this part, and this will be again given by, this service will call the model. In the model, we are representing the language structure, the entity classes, uh, so what all details are required, and then this will connect to the repository and fetch the details, and it shows in the postman in this way. Okay, after that, when I try to get the YouTube link, like I will try to hit this one first of all, like login user. I will take this token because this token will be available for few seconds only. And get languages, I go to get language, and under authorization I give this uh, uh, I give this token value. Then when I hit this, I get the respective response message, and with status 200. Okay. uh, and another API is to fetch the YouTube links. The fetch YouTube link also, it will check whether this URI is present in the code snippet. When I go to this controller, it checks API / v1, and it checks for this YouTube link and languages. Once this is available, it goes to the respective service implementation class, and it picks up all the required details needed from the database. When we have designed a model for a particular APIs. So coming to YouTube link, like we are fetching few of the strings like ID, level, language, description, sentence. These all we are, and this is and and once we hit this URI, we get this respective output. Similarly, even for other two APIs, like if I wanted to, if the user wants to work on the quiz on the front end, at the back end, once we hit this, once we hit this URI, from this URI is getting picked in the controller class, and it checks whether this service has some any logic on this URI, and it implements that logic, and what all columns are required from the database that will be shown on the postman. And a final API which I worked is like language sentences. This language sentence is also the similar way. It checks through the API in the controller. If the controller is available with that API, if this content and structure is available, it goes to the service layer. It checks whether the service is implemented for that content related and structure model. This one it checks, and then it checks the respective model class is available in the repository, and it picks up all the required columns from the database, and it gives to the user from in the front end. And these are the API, these are the user epic stories I worked. Thank you so much.
Hello, Sampada here. I've implemented user languages and user streak endpoints, its backend, API server, and related MySQL DB schemas. This is the Swagger UI I've created using the Swagger spec. So let's look at the code one by one. So this is the server, web server, which will talk to backend directly by introducing to the endpoints. I've used Flask, RESTful Swagger, and Flask basically to implement the backend. I've created some DB APIs. So set MySQL config is the function which will set all the MySQL related config, and I'm using Flask MySQL DB for that. Then course is enabled, and this is the app having resources of user languages and user streak, and have it up and running on the port. So let's look at the endpoints one by one. So user APIs. The first one is the user languages, which will store registered languages for a user. So basically, all the language related courses that they are being implemented or enrolled for will be stored as a one-on-one mapping into the database. The path for that is the body. So for the query, user have to provide a user ID and languages as a list of strings. So maybe here you can give another language and go ahead and insert, and it will show registered language stored successfully. Yeah, and there is another same getter for that, which will return all the languages that a person has enrolled in. So this is the user languages MySQL database, where the schema is of just one-on-one mapping of all the user and their corresponding languages. So the business logic is that I've added some of the try catch and some validation everywhere to proofread and provide the proper necessary safeguards. So I'm using the cursor here, and when executing, select one from the database where user ID and languages were provided. So if that user ID and language pair is not in database, then go ahead and insert it and commit that change and then return. And similarly for getting, just select the language for a user. If not, return 404. Okay, then second is user streaks. So this will identify the user streak, how many times they have logged in. Sorry, how many long they have logged in. So this is the business logic for that. That is a path type. So user has to provide, or the customer client has to provide the user ID in the URL for that. Then here I'm first checking if we have a record for the user into the our database, and then using fetch one and storing the values. If we can find the latest updated time, then I've implemented this logic that day before yesterday ends. So the start of yesterday basically is this time, and I'm checking if the update time is any time of yesterday, then go ahead and update, increment the streak. If it is more than yesterday, then user has not logged in yesterday and you just have to reset the streak. Else it is less than 24 hours, so they have logged in recently and we don't have to do anything. This is for the record which is not found into the database, and we have to create a new user with resetting their streak to the one. So up here I'm using the update query for setting the streak and update time and user ID, and here I'm using insert into. And these are all the technicalities of commit and closing the server and cursor instances. And here this is just a getter for user streak. So I'll just go ahead and show you how that works. So I'm posting a streak for Karan, which has been resetted for a new day as there is no current. I have created some of the users for testing, Ramesha, Mukesha, and Suresha with the interval of 1 to 3. So let's see how that goes. So this user has not found because of typo, and it has been resetted. For Ramesha, has incremented a streak to 5 from 4. For Suresha, you can see it has incremented to the new day because the interval is of 2 days. And if we have any other person that has logged in today, let's say me, then we'll just show that has been updated their streak recently. This is the post. And for the get, we can see for Suresha, we just did, it is giving a streak if the user is not found, and it will return with 404. So this is what I've implemented. Thank you.